Hello, my name is Carsten Lützen. I'm an Agile coach and Scrum Master. Today I'll talk a bit about Kanban. My experience with Kanban is not that extensive, so I have some thoughts and some experience I would like to convey, but I'm really looking forward to hear other people's reactions and opinions. So Kanban in an IT sense, right, is a bit different from the Toyota Kanban, if you ask me. So the original Kanban, right, was all based on pull. Of course, IT is a bit the same, right, but in many projects we don't have the same pull for features. It tends to be a bit more push. So development team pushing something from selected for development or to do or whatever we call it into in progress and then to done or whatever we have. But the nice part about Kanban is we don't have these fixed iterations, right? Of course, there's an upside and a downside to everything. These iterations in Scrum, for instance, those exist to give the development team some time to focus on the job at hand, making sure that we always do what we want to do from the business side, but also so we have some time to do it right. These iterations are not necessarily what the business wants, right? Sometimes we want to be able to change course much faster. If we're doing maintenance, for instance, or support. In Kanban, we don't have this, right? So we have a prioritized to-do list, and then we just take the top priority at all points in time and work on that to ensure that we deliver as much value all the time as possible. The downside is that some people, engineers specifically, they can find it rather stressful. They'll see this filled to-do list with new assignments always popping in, always being added. Every time they take one and they finish it, the list still feels the same length. So they can feel a bit like Sisyphus, right? Always pulling and pushing and pulling and pushing, doing work, but never really sensing this progress. Just when they think they finished something, the boulder rolls back and they can start all over. They don't get this sense of achievement or accomplishment as when you finish a sprint. So when you finish a sprint, right, you can see this much was done and only this much is left, which can be really, really motivating and really, really rewarding for a lot of people, right? Gamification. Because as we go back to Kanban, we don't have that in the same way, right? So we need to create this awareness that we're actually making progress in some other way. And that is where it becomes a bit difficult, if you ask me. Of course, we still want to demo stuff to the business, but it is less transparent, it's less visible how much progress are we actually making. And that is where, as a Scrum Master, which we of course wouldn't be called in a Kanban setup, right? But that is where we really become important to remember people that they're actually doing a significant job and they're pushing stuff into production or out to customers. So if we talk about Kanban, the concepts are really, really simple, right? We can also apply them in other contexts. It could be, for instance, party planning. I know a lot of agile people always have an anecdote about party planning and Kanban and how even kids get it and understand that if they put up something in to do and then stuff will happen, right? But it's actually, there's more to it than just that. Because it is so simple that even kids can get it because they can, right? So they know this is what we need to do, this is what we're doing, this is what we've done. Because it is so simple, right? We don't have a lot of process overhead. We don't need to describe to people, okay, we're doing this because of this and this and this, and then we have this ceremony and this ceremony, and we don't need all that. We can actually just start to execute. Of course, we'll learn as we go along, right? How should the backlog item look like? So we make sure that we can continue this progress at all times. So we can use it for planning our family week, for instance. We can use it for figuring out how to prepare for a party. We can use it as a journalist, right? So we know that we need to publish articles in a constant flow on a web page. We can use it for that. In Kanban, there is some really nice concepts. There's also this about reducing work in progress, or WIP, which is have a constraint on how many things can we have in progress at a time. My going in would be that each team member can only work on one thing, because after all, we are single-threaded, more or less, right? And making sure that we only have that in progress enables us to focus on getting that done. Instead of, oh, now I'm stuck here, I'm just going to pull in something else. In this way, we make sure that we can move as much through our system as possible. And that is what it's all about, right? Delivering value to the end customer. So that was my take on Kanban, the fast edition. If you have any feedback, comments, hints, tips, tricks, experiences with Kanban, let me know, and hopefully see you soon. Bye!